Welcome to the video guide for the installation of the N3 Plus Series 3-phase hybrid inverter. Take a moment to inspect the accessories of the packages. Make sure to verify all accessories against the package information. You need to prepare cables by yourself. Ensure that the installation tool is completely prepared before beginning the installation process. Please ensure the package is undamaged before opening it. Once confirmed, proceed to unpack the inverter and accessories. Verify that inverter is not scratched or damaged. Determine an appropriate installation position that can sustain the weight of the inverter and meet the space requirement. Use the mounting bracket as a template to mark the positions for the 4 holes. Drill holes one by one. Install the mount bracket in the 4 holes and tighten it with 4 expansion screws. Mount the inverter on the bracket and secure it by a screw. Before you start, get familiar with the wiring areas of the inverter. This is N3 Plus 3-phase hybrid inverter system on-grid application scenario. This is N3 Plus 3-phase inverter AC retrofit application scenario. Before connecting cables, ensure that the DC switch on the inverter is OFF. Ensure that the AC breaker is OFF. Strip the PE cable insulation 7 mm from the end of PE cable. Crimp the PE cable. Install the PE cable of the inverter and connect to the ground bar. Strip the insulation 7 mm from the end of PV cable. Crimp the PV cable. Ensure it is seated correctly by feeling or hearing a click. Tighten the DC positive connector. Strip the insulation 7 mm from the end of PV cable. Crimp the PV cable. Ensure it is seated correctly by feeling or hearing a click. Tighten the DC negative connector. Ensure the voltage of each PV string does not exceed the inverter's maximum input voltage, Vmax, under any condition. Connect the PV strings to the PV input port of the inverter. Trip all the wires, L1, L2, L3N, and PE cables, to 50-60 mm. Strip 15 mm of insulation from the ends of L1, L2, L3N, and PE cable. Crimp pin contact terminals. Pass the crimp AC cable into the AC connector. Insert the conductors fully into the corresponding terminals according to marking L1, L2, L3N, PE. Make the insulated terminal flush with the terminal surface. Tighten. Insert the main parts of AC connector into the terminal and hearing a click sound. Tighten the nut and there is a click sound. Strip about 15 mm of the cable insulation with a wire stripper. Install the stripped EPS cables to the crimp terminals. Pass the crimp EPS cable into the EPS connector. Fully insert the conductors into the corresponding terminal and tighten the screws with a matching hexagonal screwdriver. Plug the EPS terminal into the hybrid inverter until a click is heard. N3 Plus series hybrid inverter is recommended match to the batteries of Renac in the table below. Take a moment to inspect the accessories of the packages. Make sure to verify all accessories against the package information. Please note battery installation environments. Determine an appropriate installation position that can sustain the weight of the inverter and meet the clearance requirement. Please ensure the package is undamaged before opening it. Once confirmed, proceed to unpack the battery and accessories. Place the base along the wall with a distance of 30 to 50 millimeters between the wall and the base, and use a spirit level to make sure that the base is parallel to the floor. The foot of the base can be fine-tuned by 5 mm. Rotate it clockwise to lower the base. Rotate it anti-clockwise to raise the base. Remove the RBSs from the box. Stack the RBSs one by one on the base, and stack the BMC on top of the last battery pack. Rotate lockout hasp A and lockout hasp B half a turn to secure. Mark the holes with a marker pin according to the location of the anti-tipping plate, then rotate the anti-tipping plate assembly. Drill 511 mm holes to a depth of greater than or equal to 50 millimeters with a drilling machine. Insert the expansion tube, then fix the bracket B to the bracket A and screw the expansion screws. Open the cover on the back of the BMC before you are ready to connect the other cables. Connect the grounding cable to ensure that all batteries are grounded. Strip about 15 millimeters of the cable insulation with a wire stripper. Insert the cable into the battery power cable terminal until a click is heard. Tighten the swivel nut clockwise. Strip about 15 millimeters of the cable insulation with a wire stripper. Insert the cable into the battery power cable terminal until a click is heard. Tighten the swivel nut clockwise. Measure the positive and negative voltages at the back cable terminal. Please noted battery voltage input limit range 180-800 V. Connect the red power cable to the red power terminal and the black power cable to the black power terminal. Connect the CAN port of the battery to the CAN port of the inverter. The electrical cable connections are complete. Check all the cables are correctly and securely connected and ensure that the battery can work normally before closing the cover. Please noted the smart meter install position, smart meter connection diagram. Remove the communication waterproof cover. Please reference the communicating port define. This is smart meter pin define. Only connect pin 1 and pin 2. You can use standard network cable for connect meter communication port. Pass the RS485 communication cable through the nut and the plug. Install the waterproof cover to inverter communication port. Connect the meter port L1, L2, L3 in to grid L1, L2, L3 in. Connect communication cable to meter TXA, TXB. CT1 connect to S1 port, CT2 connect to S2, CT3 connect to S3. Hang CT1 on L1 cable of the main circuit breaker. Hang CT2 on L2 cable of the main circuit breaker. Hang CT3 on L3 cable of the main circuit breaker. Here is an overview of communication ports. Connect the Wi-Fi 4G or ST-LAN G2 module to COM port of inverter. Follow the Wi-Fi 4G ST-LAN G2 module user manual to set up the monitoring. Turn on the AC circuit breaker between the inverter and the grid. Turn on the inverter DC switch to the on position. Smart meter default password is 1000. The smart meter communication address is default 001. The baud rate is default 9.6K. Turn on SysSwitch, go to Settings, Language, Settings, Date Time. Settings, COM address, meter 1 address, OK. Settings, Advanced, On-Grid, Safety, OK. SysSwitch, turn on, OK.